Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Biophysical Technique. Here in this video, I am going to discuss about Lambert-Beer's law, the spectrophotometer and related numerical problems. So let's start the discussion. Some molecules, whether it's small or large macromolecule, can absorb light. When it absorbs light, the energy of light is transferred to the molecule and the molecule becomes excited. Some molecule or part of this molecule that can be excited upon light absorption is called chromophore, and this transition require certain amount of energy. For most molecule, the wavelength corresponding to transition between ground state to excited state fall in this range. Although the efficiency of light absorption and the wavelength of light it will absorb depends on the structure of the molecule and its environment, like the type of solvent used to dissolve the molecule, pH of the solution, and temperature. This property of the molecule helps us to understand the concentration of the molecule, and it helps us to identify the molecule and assay enzyme kinetics. And the plot of absorption versus wavelength is called absorption spectrum. And when we analyze and gathered absorption data, it's called absorption spectroscopy. And the instrument that helps us to gather this type of data is called spectrophotometer. The principle behind this actually derived by three scientists. They are Lambert, Beer and Boger. That's why this law is called Lambert-Beer's law or Lambert-Beer-Boger's law or simply Beer's law. It states that the amount of light absorbed by the absorbing material is directly proportional to its concentration and the thickness of the solution. You can see in this picture that the intensity of the incident light, that is called I0, when passed through a solution, the intensity of the light which is coming out, that is called the transmission, or I, is decreased. When the concentration of the solution is higher, it will absorb more amount of light. And it will absorb more amount of light if we increase the path length of the solution. That means the thickness of the cuvette. The law is very simple. It is generally expressed in this way. Here, epsilon is the molar absorption coefficient or molar absorptivity, and C is the concentration of the solution, and D is optical path length. Now, what are the parameters we can measure from this law? First, absorbance, or called capital A. We can measure it from this equation. When the path length or D is fixed, that is 1 centimeter, so absorbance depend only one factors, that is concentration of the solution. When the D is 1 centimeter, it's called optical density or OD. It is very useful parameter to determine the concentration of a molecule. We can also calculate transmission or the amount of light that is not absorbed by this material or the amount of light that is coming out from the solution with this equation. We can also calculate the percentage of transmission using this equation, and the transmission and absorbance are reciprocal, or A is equal to 1 by T. Another important parameter is called molar absorption coefficient or molar absorptivity. It's a measure of how strongly a compound absorbs light, and the unit is per mole per centimeter. It is unique or a signature for a compound at particular wavelength. For example, here I have shown the epsilon of 3 aromatic amino acids, that is tryptophan, tyrosine and phenylalanine. Notice that each curve has characteristics pattern. And now about the instrument. It's called spectrophotometer. It consists of a light source, either UV or visible light. And depending on the light source, it's called UV visible spectrophotometer. A monochromator is there to select a particular wavelength. And there is a sample holder that is called the cuvette holder. It's a transparent sample holder, a light detector and a recorder that will measure the output. In a typical operation, first you have to select a particular wavelength that you desire and then start your experiment. First, record the OD of the solvent in which the molecule is dissolved, that is called blank, where the solvent is not mixed, and then measure the OD of the solution in which the solvent is dissolved. And when you subtract the OD of blank from the test, it will give the OD of the solvent. Although Beer's law is very helpful to measure the concentration of a compound, but it has some limitations. For example, when the concentration is very high, the linear relationship between concentration and OD is lost. Here we can see that at a very high or very low concentration, epsilon deviates from its actual value. Only at lambda 2 there is no change, and this wavelength is called isosbestic point. You can see a positive deviation at lambda 1 and negative deviation at lambda 3. Now it's time to solve some numerical problems from this topic. You can expect 3 different types of problem from this topic. First, calculate epsilon or OD using Beer's law when all other parameters are known, or calculate the concentration of individual compound in a mixture when epsilon of all compounds are known. Or from OD versus concentration plot, you have to calculate the concentration of an unknown solution of this particular compound if its OD value fall within this range. Here is the first example. Epsilon, OD and D are provided. You have to calculate the concentration of NaDH solution. I have used Beer law to solve this problem. Simply put all the known values in Beer equation and solved it. In the second problem, a sequence of a peptide is provided. We have to calculate the value of epsilon of this peptide. You know that there are 3 aromatic amino acids present in a peptide, and they are tyrosine, tryptophan and phenylalanine, actually absorb 280 nanometer UV light. So epsilon values are provided for each amino acids. So I have counted the number of tryptophan, phenylalanine and tyrosine present in this peptide, and then use this equation to solve the epsilon of the peptide. Notice that epsilon is not an additive property. I have multiplied epsilon values of each amino acids. In the third type of problem, a standard curve, that is concentration versus OD, is provided. You have to calculate the concentration of an unknown sample, and its OD is 0.05. Here in this problem, the line crosses x-axis at 25 moles per liter. So the concentration of the unknown is 25 moles per liter. So that's all. If you like this video, don't forget to press the subscribe button, like, share and make comments. And thanks for watching.